Hey everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something that I'm sure a lot of you are dealing with. Managing a dog who's got way too much energy.
Hyper dogs.
Hyperactive dogs, that's right.
Yeah.
We're diving into this really cool guide from OmiDog EDU all about hyperactivity in dogs.
Awesome.
You ever get that feeling like your dog is just plugged into like a high voltage energy source?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to figure out how to like decode that energy and make it channel it in a way that's actually good for your dog.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We always think of excitement as like a good thing,
Right.
but for dogs, it can actually be like a sign of stress or anxiety.
Wait, really? That's kind of crazy. My dog goes bonkers when I get home, but I always thought that was like pure happiness.
Oh, they definitely get excited for happy reasons too.
Right.
Like seeing their favorite people.
Of course.
But the thing is, those same outward signs of excitement, like jumping, barking, like crazy tail wags, can also be signs of stress.
Huh.
It's like their internal wiring is just like different from ours.
So how do I like tell the difference between happy excitement and stressed out excitement?
You got to be a dog detective.
Okay.
Look for those little cues like panting, or their pupils get really big, or they're licking their lips.
Okay.
These can all be signs that they're feeling overwhelmed, even if they're like jumping around like crazy.
Hey, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like when you're nervous, but you're like putting on a brave face.
Totally.
They're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where we, as like well-meaning owners, we kind of mess things up a little bit.
Okay.
We see our dog bouncing off the walls, and we're like, oh, we got to give them attention. That's what they want.
Right.
We pet them. We use our high-pitched baby voices, maybe even get into a little tug-of-war.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I am so guilty of that,
Yeah.
especially when I've been gone all day and I come home and he's just like a little explosion of puppy joy.
It's a natural reaction.
It is.
But think about what you're actually teaching them in that moment.
Okay.
You're rewarding that behavior that might be rooted in stress. So you're accidentally like reinforcing that cycle of hyperactivity.
Whoa. So I'm actually training my dog to be more hyper.
It's possible.
That's kind of crazy.
And then when that constant excitement starts to get to us,
Right.
we do a total 180, right?
Yes.
We try to shush them, maybe push them away,
Right.
talk about mixed signals.
Be excited, be excited. No, not like
Yeah.
that.
Poor pups.
So what's the answer? How do we like get them to chill out a little bit? Find a more balanced energy level?
Yeah.
Well, this guide has this really interesting 4-step approach.
Okay.
And it all starts with understanding that we're not just trying to get them to stop being excited in this one moment.
Right.
It's about changing their overall energy.
Yep. I'm listening. What's step one?
It's so simple, you're going to think I'm messing with you.
Okay.
Stay
Hey,
calm.
Well, my dog is going crazy with excitement.
Exactly. You got to like approach them with a calm demeanor,
Right.
even when they're like losing their mind.
You're basically showing them how you want them to act.
That's a lot easier said than done when you're dealing with like,
Right.
a dog who's practically vibrating with excitement. But I can see how it makes sense to like not match their energy level.
Right. And it's not about ignoring them or anything.
Right.
But just like projecting a sense of calm assurance.
Yeah.
It's like an invitation to just chill out.
Okay. I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
What's step 2?
Step 2 is all about consistent training.
Okay.
And I don't just mean like sit, stay, fetch.
Right.
It's about rewarding calmness whenever you see it.
Oh, so instead of giving them all the attention when they're super excited,
Yeah,
I should be looking for those little moments when they're calm and like rewarding that.
exactly. You're teaching them that good things come to those who chill.
I like that. It's like a whole new way of thinking about rewarding my dog.
Oh,
It's not just about treats or toys. It's about recognizing when they're being calm.
exactly. And the more you do it, the more they're going to start to be like, oh, calmness equals good things.
Sure. Okay, so we've got stay calm,
Yep.
consistent training.
Mm-hmm.
What's the third step in this like energy shifting journey?
Step 3 is all about controlled affection.
Okay.
This one's a big one.
All right.
We all love to cuddle our dogs right,
Yes.
but we got to be smart about when we're giving them that affection.
Wait, so you're saying I shouldn't cuddle my dog when he's excited? That seems mean.
It's not about withholding affection altogether. It's
Okay.
about changing what they associate it with.
Okay.
Right now, they might be learning that crazy excitement equals cuddles and attention.
Right.
We want to flip that script and teach them that calmness is what gets them all the good vibes.
I see. So if my dog comes barreling at me like a furry missile,
Yeah.
I should resist the urge to immediately like love on them.
Even though it's hard.
Yeah.
And instead, wait for them to settle down,
Oh,
even if it's just for a few seconds.
all right.
And then when they're relaxed, that's when you give them all the cuddles and praise they deserve.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all fits together.
Yeah.
We're like rewiring their
You
brains,
got it.
teaching them that calmness is like the key to unlock all the good stuff.
Exactly.
That's cool. Okay, so what's the fourth and final step?
The fourth step is, I'm sure you've heard this before,
Okay.
exercise and mental stimulation.
Ah, the classic tired dog is a happy dog approach.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
A dog who's had a chance to run around and use their brain
Right.
is much more likely to be calm and relaxed.
I'm already a big believer in daily walks and playtime.
Right.
But what about like the mental stimulation? What does that look like?
So think puzzle toys,
Okay.
interactive games,
Mm-hmm.
even just a good sniff walk,
What's that?
where they can just explore all the smells in the neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
These all engage their minds and tire them out in a healthy way.
Like a brain workout.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And a mentally stimulated dog is a much happier and calmer dog.
Wow, this is all making so much sense. I gotta admit, it's a little bit of a different way of thinking about it.
It is.
It's easy to fall into those habits of, like you said, giving them attention when they're excited and not realizing like what I'm actually doing.
Yeah, and a lot of people do it.
Yeah.
But the good news is, once you start changing how you're doing things,
Right.
you're likely going to see a positive change in your dog's behavior.
Okay, that's encouraging.
They might be less anxious, less likely to get into trouble,
Right.
and better at focusing and learning.
Okay, so it's not about like suppressing their excitement like altogether.
Not at all.
Okay.
Dogs are naturally energetic creatures.
Yeah.
It's part of who they are.
Right.
It's our job to help them channel that energy in a good way.
So it's not about turning my dog into a couch potato.
Right.
It's about like finding that sweet spot between excitement and calm.
Exactly. And when they find that sweet spot, you're going to see like a happier, more balanced dog.
This deep dive has been so eye-opening. I'm starting to see like my dog's behavior in a whole new way.
That's great. And that's just the beginning. There's so much more to learn about understanding our dogs and their energy.
Right.
But I think we should take a little pause here.
Okay.
Let all this sink in.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
So while we take a little break, I want all of you listening to think about this.
Yeah.
What stands out to you the most from what we've talked about?
And how do you think these ideas might change how you interact with your dog? We'll be back in a moment to dive even deeper into this.
Absolutely.
Welcome back. I don't know about you, but I am already rethinking like my whole approach to interacting with my dog.
It really is amazing how much we learn when we start to see things from the dog's perspective.
Totally. So before the break, we were talking about helping our dogs find that sweet spot between like crazy excitement
Yeah.
and being calm. So where do we go from here? What can we start doing like right now?
Well, first I would say become like a detective.
Okay.
Observe your dog's energy levels throughout the day.
Yeah, okay.
See when they're the most amped up, and then when they seem more relaxed.
Like a dog detective. We were talking about that.
Exactly. And pay attention to your own behavior in those moments.
Okay.
Are you accidentally like feeding into their excitement?
You're saying like sometimes my good intentions might actually be making things worse?
It's totally possible.
Okay.
For example, think about how you act when you come home at the end of the day.
Here we go. I'm so guilty of that.
We all do it.
I get so caught up in that like happy dance my dog does.
It's so cute.
No.
But instead of immediately like going crazy with them,
Right.
what if you like took a breath,
Okay.
centered yourself,
Yeah.
and greeted your dog with calm energy?
So I should be like the calm in their storm.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're not ignoring them or anything.
Right.
You're just teaching them that like a calmer approach is what gets rewarded
That makes sense, setting the tone.
right from the start.
Yeah.
And this applies to other stuff too, not just greetings. If they get super excited during playtime, pause the game for a minute.
Oh, that's a good one. I've definitely had those playtime sessions that just turn into a whirlwind of teeth and claws.
It happens.
Yeah.
And remember, you're not punishing them.
Okay.
You're just communicating that calm is what keeps the fun going.
Boundaries, expectations.
Exactly.
Let's say.
Speaking of expectations, let's talk about affection.
Okay, yes, controlled affection.
Yeah,
This is the one I'm struggling with a little bit.
it's definitely a new way of thinking about it,
It is.
but it's so important.
Yeah.
Remember, it's not about never showing them love.
Okay.
It's about being strategic about when you give it.
So instead of cuddling with them when they're bouncing off the walls,
Yeah.
I should wait until they're calm.
Exactly. You want to reinforce that calm behavior equals good things.
Okay.
Ear scratches, belly rubs.
Like I love you most when you're being your best self.
Exactly. And look,
Ugh.
it might take some time for your dog to adjust to this new way of doing things. But with patience and consistency, they'll get it.
Patience is definitely key here. This isn't like a quick fix.
Definitely not.
It's about like retraining both of us.
Absolutely. It's a journey, not a sprint.
I like that. And don't forget about exercise and mental stimulation.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that earlier, but it's like worth repeating. A tired dog is a calmer dog.
100%.
So I'm already pretty good about daily walks and playtime, but what are some other ways to like keep my dog mentally stimulated?
Puzzle toys are a great one.
Okay.
They basically make the dog work for their treats.
Oh yeah, those ones where you have to move the little levers around and stuff.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
And you can also get creative,
Right.
buy treats around the house, teach them some new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Even just a good sniff walk can help.
Those sniff walks, those sound so relaxing.
They are. For both of you.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much mental energy they use just by using their nose.
Okay, I'm putting sniff walks on my to-do list.
Good.
This has been so helpful.
Good. I'm glad.
It feels like we've just like scratched the surface,
Yeah.
but I feel a lot more equipped to like understand my dog's energy and manage it in a way that's actually good for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And remember, this is like a journey for both of you.
it is. So what can our listeners do to continue this journey? Like, what are some resources or something?
Don't be afraid to ask for help. A certified dog trainer
Okay.
or a behaviorist,
Mm-hmm.
they can give you some personalized guidance.
Right. Sometimes
Yeah.
it takes like a professional to see those little things that we're missing.
Exactly. And there's also a ton of great online resources.
Oh, right.
Like the OmiDog EDU website we're talking about today. They have a bunch of articles and videos,
Okay.
even online courses.
Nice. And there's also like a ton of online communities and stuff, right?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Sometimes it really helps just to know that you're not the only one dealing with this.
It can be really isolating,
It can.
but knowing that other people are going through the same thing can really help.
Absolutely.
So we've got professional help,
Yeah.
online resources, and the power of community. Any other words of wisdom before we wrap up?
I want to emphasize that this isn't just about training.
Okay.
It's about like building a connection with your dog,
Yeah.
a true partnership,
Mhm.
built on understanding, respect, and a whole lot of love.
I love that it's not about changing their behavior. It's about like strengthening the bond we have.
Exactly. And when
Right.
you start thinking about it that way,
Right.
you're not only creating a better life for your dog, but for yourself too.
This has been such a great conversation. Thank you so much for all your insights.
My pleasure.
All right, listeners, if you're feeling inspired to try some of these things out, I want you to challenge yourself to take one small step today
Great idea. What's one thing they can do?
towards creating a better relationship with your dog.
Awesome.
Maybe it's taking a deep breath before you greet them, or choosing to cuddle with them when they're relaxed instead of when they're super excited.
I love it.
Every little thing counts.
It does. Remember, you're not just training your dog. You're building a bond that will hopefully last for years.
Oh, and speaking of joy and companionship, I think we have time for one final thought before we sign off.
I'm listening. What's up?
Well, it just occurred to me that we've been talking about dogs who are too excited,
Yeah.
but what about those dogs who are like the opposite?
Oh, interesting.
You know, the ones who are like super mellow
Yeah.
or even withdrawn?
That's a good point. And it's something we should definitely talk about more
Yeah.
because just like being super excited can be a sign of stress.
Right.
So can a lack of energy.
So how do we tell the difference between a dog who's just like naturally chill
Right.
and a dog who's like maybe struggling with something?
That's a great question. And it's something we'll have to explore in our next deep dive.
Oh, perfect. I can't wait.
We'll talk about what might be causing low energy in dogs and how we can help.
It's so important to remember that our dogs can't just tell us what they're feeling. So it's up to us to pay attention and try to understand what they need.
Exactly. And just like we've learned how to understand their excitement,
Right.
we can also learn to understand what it means when they're not feeling their best.
Okay, so until next time, keep those tails wagging,
Yes, and those ears perked.
and we'll see you soon for another deep dive.
Absolutely.
It's so interesting, right? Like, we always just assume that our dogs are hacky when they're excited.
Yeah.
But as we've been learning, it's not always that simple.
There's a lot more to it.
It makes me think about that example with the wild animals, you know? Like,
Right.
maybe sometimes we're actually making our dogs more stressed out when we try to make them happy.
It's definitely possible.
We shower them with love and affection when they're going crazy, thinking that's what they want, but
Yeah.
maybe they really just need to chill out a little bit.
Maybe they're saying calm down, and we're saying get more excited.
Exactly.
It's like a mismatch of communication.
Yeah. And we think we're doing the right thing because we love them.
Mm,
But sometimes the best thing we can do is just like take a step back
yeah.
and see what they really need.
And sometimes when we create a calmer environment for our dogs,
Hmm.
we actually end up creating a calmer environment for ourselves too.
Yeah, it's like this ripple effect.
Totally.
When our dogs are feeling good, it just like brings a sense of peace to the whole house.
Absolutely. And that can even like extend beyond your home, you know.
All right.
It can affect your relationships with other people and just your overall well-being.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with a little challenge.
Ooh, my challenge is, what is it?
I want you to try to be more aware of your dog's energy levels
Okay.
and really make an effort to reward them when they're calm and relaxed.
Such a simple thing, but it can make such a big difference.
Right. And remember, it's not just about training them,
Yeah.
it's about building that connection.
That bond.
Yeah, built on like understanding and respect and love.
Beautifully said. And who knows, maybe you'll learn a thing or two about yourself in the process.
Yeah, because when we help our dogs live a more balanced and harmonious life,
Mm-hmm.
we often end up living a more balanced and harmonious life ourselves.
I love that.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure. And to everyone listening, remember, every journey starts with a single step.
You got this.
Take that step today and keep learning and observing and deepening that bond you have with your amazing dog.